12 News is your local election headquarters. As we reported earlier in this newscast, Helena Foulkes making it official today, announcing that she is running for Rhode Island governor again. Now, Foulkes will be challenging incumbent Governor Dan McKee in the Democratic primary, which, believe it or not, is now less than a year away. 12 News political analyst Joe Fleming joins me now live in studio. Joe, this is a rematch that has been essentially years in the making. Now it's official.
Right. She's been planning to run for the last 3 years. Today she made it official. We now have a Democratic primary for governor, and it looks like it's going to be a very interesting year. It looks like it's going to be a very hard-fought campaign, and I think it's going to be a very negative campaign. I think both candidates here are going to really be going after each other very strongly in this campaign.
Yeah, what do you make of Dan McKee going after her with a campaign ad even before she officially made that announcement
Well,
today?
it's a smart move on Dan McKee's part, because now in the news cycle, that's included in everything. She doesn't have the news cycle all to herself. We're talking about Dan McKee today and not just her. So this is a plus for Dan McKee, and it shows he's being very aggressive in this campaign, where in past campaigns he's been more laid back.
Now, what is polling showing in this race? Of course, it's early here.
Right. There's been no primary polling. That's what people keep forgetting. The only polling we've seen is job approval. And Dan McKee's numbers have been low in job approval, but that was among the general population, Democrats, Republicans, Independents. Among Democrats, it's higher. It's up around the 40% number. So it gives them a better shot. And again, a Democratic primary has a turnout of about 110,000, 120,000 people. So it's a small group of people. There's 700,000 registered voters in the state of Rhode Island. So in turn, Dan McKee is going to zero in on that small group of people, and his number is a little better among that, but he still has a long way to go.
Now, what do you think could be a negative for Foulkes in this race?
Well, obviously, the negative we've seen already, the opioids when she was at CVS. Dan McKee is going to really try to push that. We saw that with his digital ad today. At the same time, I think she was very smart today. She talked about her accomplishments at CVS. She talked about getting rid of cigarettes at CVS. So she's going to try to muddy the water that way. So she talks about the positives while there's negatives coming out at the same time.
Now, we officially have two candidates in the Democratic primary. How likely do you think it is that there will remain two candidates in this race?
It's up in the air. I think it's about a 50-50 chance at this point. I know Joe Fleming, the speaker, is very much thinking about running for governor. Knowing Joe, he's more cautious. He's probably going to do some polling first to see where he stands in this race. But I would not be surprised if he does get in the race. And, you know, if he does get in the race, where are the unions going to be on this race? They represent a big turnout in Democratic primaries. A lot of them were with Dan McKee 4 years ago. Are they going to stay with him, or are they going to move over to somebody like a Joe Fleming, who has had strong union support in the past? Now,
there's also some speculation about the current Attorney General, Peter Nerona. How would that shake up this race?
Well, I think Peter Nerona has to look at it. If Joe Fleming gets in, making it a four-way race, it's really going to help Dan McKee. Because the more people in the race, the better for Dan McKee. Remember, he only got about 35% of the vote in the primary last time. So I think Peter Nerona has to make a decision. If I get in that race, is it going to help Dan McKee and get him back into the governorship, which he doesn't want to see, I believe. So I think Peter has a big decision to make down the road, especially if Joe Fleming gets in.
And just quickly now, campaign funds also play a role in something like this. How is that looking?
Well, right now, Helena Foulkes has a 2-to-1 lead in money, $2 million to almost $1 million for Dan McKee. Money is very important in this race to get your message out. But remember, it's a small universe. You're talking to about 120,000 voters. So Dan McKee has to raise a lot more money now in the next 6 months or so to be very competitive with her, who seems to have unlimited sources of money.
All right, and we'll see you back here at 5:30 for more analysis. Joe Fleming, thank you so much for joining us.